Hello. This is Katie Oshiwanita with, here we go. Let me get my set up proper. Katie Oshiwanita with Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Seminar and Sessions, and of course the HJR Grid Keepers community. And good to connect with you all. And I just wanted to make homage to Charlie Kurk. So this is thanks Charlie Kurk and HJR Insight. Because last week marked a significant turning point in humanity's evolutionary path. No longer can we give excuses to those who do not live by love, compassion, truth, and justice. Being a libertarian, I am for self-sovereignty, totally. But I must acknowledge that what has been happening over the last really 5 years, probably more than that, but we'll say 5 years, has been an abomination on the face of humanity. For people to have the mindset to celebrate the death of a person like Charlie Kirk because his beliefs and their beliefs differed, people can't even make logical arguments against his views. They hated him so much because if they didn't, then they would have to look at themselves. They would have to realize the rhetoric that they had been told by their family, politicians, and social media platforms, basically the farce. They felt they had to advocate for his removal by any means possible or necessary. I also just heard as well that Charlie Kirk's not the only target. So in the next few weeks and months, keep your eyes open. Hopefully it will not happen. Hopefully just because it's kind of out there, it's not going to happen. This hate goes all the way up to the top of the woke Socialist Democratic Party. A party, and again, take what you like and leave the rest. This is my perspective. But excuse me, this is not new. It's not new. Okay, my opinion on this. Because I really feel at this point, this party is not run by the people, but by the deep state cabal, kind of add the word fatally there, who play on people's weaknesses. In fact, these deep staters have been working diligently for hundreds, if not thousands of years to avoid their own inadequacy of being a compromised fallen souls. Charlie fought against the deep state phantom matrix oppressor and the oppressor and the oppressed of the godless harmonic agenda, socialism. People say communism is bad, socialism. Actually, socialist democracy is basically communism, if you really look at it. Excuse me. A world of hate and survival of the fittest among fallen angels of the Phantom Matrix. The boy who shot Charlie Kirk was only the trigger finger for the real culprit, who feared anyone whose main objective was to be of service to humanity for higher power one loved dearly. Charlie was guided to give a voice to those he felt were stuck in a faithless and godless ideology, to find their own personal way to their higher power, to be sovereign over themselves. Christianity is the belief in a one God, creator of heaven and earth, but most of all, the expression of divine love and wisdom. For those who follow me know that I'm not a Christian, but I do respect the religion, especially since I've studied Steiner and I understand more of the esoteric Christianity aspect of it and where we're at in our developmental stage. Instead, I say the all that is God source first eternal Ia, you, me, was me, us, they, it. I am a Christic that follows the law of one teaching. I want to make sure that's clear. Okay. I'm not a Bible thumper. Okay, from our Attitudes and Responsibilities of Self-Mastery by Ashiana and DOr-A. Looking at the attitude 1, love. Recognition of the truth of the all-oneness. Responsibility of mastery. Number 5, self-love. It is our own responsibility to love and nurture ourselves through the limitless gift of divine spirit that moves through us at every moment. Genuine love must come from within. It can only be, excuse me, I'm reading it and it's like this one they'll break the sentence structure a little off, but bless her heart. She brought through some awesome information. Genuine love must come from within and can only be through genuine spiritual connection to the eternal God self and its inherent connection to all creation. If we seek love on the outside in order to fulfill a personal loneliness or lack within, we enter relationships as energy vampires. We are seeking a substitute for our personal God force connection through tapping into the God force embodied within other people or beings. This is not love, it is need, which implies the lack of something essential, which in turn implies a limited personal connection to God force universal consciousness. Such lack cannot be filled by external love. It can only be fulfilled by recognizing the God within you, and thus recognizing that you are a living embodiment of absolute love. Once this is recognized, you will have the greatest love of all, God love. And from this position of divine power, you can go into the world seeking those to whom you can give this love, rather than seeking those from whom you can get love. When love is approached through self-love, the motivation is to give joyfully, knowing that anything you might need can be made manifest through the love of the active God force that you carry inside yourself. Self-love is a responsibility of spiritual maturity. Okay. We find common ground in the original law of one teachings, upon which Christianity, headed by J12 and J9, was based. The redeeming of fallen humanity, which at this point is you, me, we, us, they, it. Okay, kind of like a multi. We're all kind of messed up. So, to redeem. This was from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. So, redeem. To free from what distresses or harms, such as A, to be free from captivity by payment of ransom, B, to extricate from or help to overcome something detrimental, C, to release from blame or debt, clear, D, to free from consequences of sin. So, okay. Charlie, through his faith as a sinner, okay, we got to be free from the consequence of sin. So Charlie, through the faith as a sinner and love of humanity, sought his way through open debate for the youth of today caught in the deep state woke programming, an opportunity to find their way back out to become self-sovereign divine love beings they truly are. In that sovereignty, they could then choose their own connection to their own higher power. Obviously, Charlie would prefer the Christian path, but hey, to me, any spiritual teaching that supports a person making the conscious contact with their eternal being, I am for. I in no way advocate for atheism in any form. I think Charlie said, I can't remember, it was Charlie, somebody I heard recently say it's false. You're always you're always having some form of a connection to some other god or something. It can be money. I am totally spacing on some of the examples I heard recently. But anyway, yeah, atheism is not a real thing. Communication is everything, even when it gets heated with opposing perspectives. Even when people spoke to him with hate, he stayed grounded and stable to listen and debate. He knew his life was threatened, particularly towards the end. Yet he had a calling from his God, his eternal being. Because he knew that without communication, violence and death will ensue. The deep state cabal wants the violence to happen. But the White Hat Earth Alliance Truther movement of the MAGAs is a seeker of truth, wisdom, and divine love. The MAGA Truther movement is not going to be burning down cities like the deep state work groups do. But they were really hoping they could get that going. But they're not. They're not. We are all, regardless of our background, by no means perfect. All of us, whatever our political background, whatever our ideology is. We all have distortions or have sinned at one time or another. Sin, S-I-N, means the moon, which represents our passions and desires of our lower astral D4 body. That's a lot of esoterica Christianity information. We are talking about the fall of angelic human, aka the fall of Metatron. When we broke away from the organic perpetual renewal of the Chris code for a false light body of the phantom matrix 8th sphere that is interfaced with the moon, or also known as Thea, and I've talked about that in previous discussions. This connection had shut down the Manu window within the atomic D1 structure many thousands of years ago. That occurred, and then you have the in turn cause the half reversal of the D2 and D3 strands. So D2 emotional elemental body, D3 mental body. We now have a subconscious mind because of that. I don't care who you are on this planet. You're affected by this distortion. And I mean, hey, Charlie was always saying, I'm a sinner. I have my faults. I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm in service and doing the best I can. You know, wouldn't say the word, but I would say it, cleaning up your musket, so to speak. Karmic musket. Jeshua, okay. Jeshua, or J12, as we KSers like to call him, traditionally known in history as Christ, was an individual who sacrificed himself into the Earth's etheric grids to transfer the Bifeca code back into the Earth's grids for humanity, particularly the Hebrew race, the ability to connect with higher multidimensional clan family for ascension. Christ, or J9, which that's most of what we've learned in history, is J9, which means Jesus at the ninth dimensional level, J12 at the 12th dimensional level. Jesus at the 12th dimensional level. For those that don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, so Priester J12 or J9, he was of Anunnaki / animal Melchizedek origins, was part of the healing and realigning of a fallen, compromised, third seeding humanity of both angelic, human, and animal Melchizedek. Happy to those. Okay. In conclusion, okay, this one's not as long as I've done recently. How can we find peace in the events that have been unfolding on this planet for thousands of years, but have intensified in the last few years as we transition from old to new Earth? Through the lens of people like Charlie Kirk, Beyond Mystic, Nick Freitas, and many, 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 many others, we see the clarity as manifestors, what we have been creating as the God Source First Eternal, Aya, you, me, we, us, they, it. We see how to take full self-responsibility in all of our creations and clean up, again, our internal mess kits of karma we have created. Gotta stop blaming them demons out there. Again. There is no entitlement to reparations for karmic choices as the all that is. We can only experience the fullness of the moment, good, bad, and ugly. Gain wisdom from the experience, may even be ancestral wisdom, right? From past experiences of our ancestral lineage lines. And then move onward and upward, the ascension spiral of life. Blaming and shaming gives your responsibility to another. Causing you to feel powerless in a world of haves and have-nots, or the oppressor and the oppressed of the fallen phantom matrix program of the old network. We are working to get out of that. You have to make new choices. How can we sinners be redeemed to live in an organic, perpetually renewing law of one life of love, compassion, truth, and justice of the new earth? A world where abundance is the law of the land, and meaning there is no stealing of anyone's pie, because there's a never-ending pie when you really understand the mechanics of manifestation. Unlike the woke socialist democracy, I don't try to categorize you in determining whether you are a oppressed or an oppressor. I don't put you into those categories. I judge people based on their actions and merits, as well as how they treat me and others. People do not have to agree with me or follow my ideology, but I do expect common decency and fair and respectful treatment of me and others. And, I think there's still people, I've kind of heard other people talk about with their family, they're like, they've been voting Democrat for most of their life, but they actually live a conservative life. So they still live in integrity, but they just, hey, I voted for Obama twice. Hillary won. So yeah, I was part of it. Okay. The following days and weeks will be key as the spotlight is shining down on those who have been behaving in inhumane ways to make new choices. I do not want, I really don't want the death penalty for the shooter. That, in some respects, that would kind of be too good for him. But he needs to face what he did and work to redeem his soul. He really needs that opportunity to really face what program he was running. Also, all the souls, all the people that have acted in dishonor last week and currently even this week need to really do the same. I hold a space. I hold for them. I hold space for you, just as Charlie did, as he sat back and listened and heard what you guys would say, and then he would say, "Okay, I see that. But then what about this?" And work to help you shift your programming and step out of it. And many did, and some just are still kind of stuck. Running the rhetoric program. But yes, can make new choices. I send you Rainbow Soapy Bubbles. For those that have never seen them. To clear your disharmonic, demonic overshadowing, to be whole and complete again. To Asia into DOr-A, to Asia into DOr-A, to Asia into DOr-A, Ashalom Ta, Akashadur. And for those that are joining in that are in alignment, I probably should have said that before I said what I said. For those that are watching and in alignment and are doing the work as well, just kind of in your own time, just doing the same thing, connecting into your pillar, running the Rainbow Soapy Bubble, pillar of peace energy. There's many people we've all been feeling hurt by. They've just been just awful. It's just awful on a lot of levels these past 5 years. They know not what they do in many respects. It's in the Rainbow Soapy Bubbles to clear their disharmonic, demonic overshadowing. We know that's probably more than most likely with fatal forces. To be whole and complete again. To Asia into DOr-A, to Asia into DOr-A, to Asia into DOr-A. Shalom Ta, Pashatum. Thank you. You're gonna probably want to look in the description of this video. There'll be a link at the top for the Harmonizing Journey blog post on my website. And unless I decide to put it in the description below, but I included a few videos that I feel, some tribute to Charlie, saying thank you. And thank you for your service, Charlie. Thank you so much. Suggestions on how to move forward and a little bit more in-depth reasons why the deep state wanted him gone. That's the second to last video. And I'm actually still watching that one by Tucker Carlson. There's a lot of stuff in that one. Really good. And then the last one is, okay, let me just, actually, it's okay. So the first one is by Nick Freitas. Very good tribute. And I have to say, I mean, when I heard that he passed, I started crying, and I barely do that for political anything. But I did for him. Because I just knew what it meant. I knew what was ended. That you can't replace Charlie. You just can't. Not to say the organization isn't going to grow, that he started, but it's going to have to form itself a little differently. and expand differently and start doing new things, because what Charlie did, nobody else can do it to the level that he did it. I found in my feed the George Janko show, episode 70 here, and that gave a lot of personal background information. I don't follow George Janko. I just came up on my feed because I've been watching a lot of Charlie Kirk. I've got a lot under my belt of Charlie Kirk, so I can say he's not what people have been saying that he is, and negatively. Really gave a lot about his beliefs and how he views the world and values, and I thought that was really good. Not that I agreed 100% everything he said, but I don't have to. But I agreed with a lot of it and a lot of the principles behind it and meaning. And yes, the next one is Tucker Carlson Live America After Charlie Kirk. And I'm still watching that one. That's a lot of good information, a lot of background, a lot of looking at the Israeli situation and some other things, and really kind of getting a feel of what's going on. So very good. And then the last one, what is a conservative gay gentleman saying, "Hey, I'm gay, but I'm conservative. How does that?" And it was very inspiring and respectful and loving, the answer that Charlie gave. So again, really debunking this. I don't even want to repeat what people say. It just makes me sick and then gets me pissed off. I'm not gonna I don't want to say it. I don't want to put that energy out there. All right, so before we conclude in today's session, just always a reminder, Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Seminar and Sessions. HJR utilizes quantum mechanics. Quantic science is the original organic first creation law of one mechanics. The mechanics work with organic light body and plasma spirit body structure to bring you back to your organic first creation mechanics of the eternal domain of the all that is. This technology realigns the artificial finite second creation Fibonacci tube torus net earth phantom matrix program with its natural, perpetually renewing organic ascension, new earth expression. Didn't say Aurora, but organic Aurora ascension, new earth expression, also interfacing with something called Ure Earth. Whether you are a novice or an advanced light worker, the HJR sessions realigns and recalibrates your light body anatomy to your spirit body, higher self, a process to gain clarity about who you are and what you want to do in life. Hideyoshi Wanita navigates your way to connect to your personal plasma spirit pod space, aka Mashai Hana Prayer Salon, from the sliders material. From there, you make connections to your eternal authentic spirit. A little bit of hypnotherapy is utilized during a session to go in kind of a light trance state, so you're kind of more open to make that direct connection with your own, I like to call it, spirit clan family, also known as higher self, inner being, guide, I am. Right. And if you have any questions for me, and you can email me at Katie Oshiwani, or excuse me, you can email me, Katie Oshiwanita, at katie@harmonizingjourney.com. We also have the HJR Grid Keepers Community Membership Program. HJR defines a grid keeper as one who is connected to their clan spirit family, their authentic expression. The grid keeper then aligns with the Earth's grids to align their lone harmonic, authentic, eternal expression with the core of the Nomi Earth for healing and realigning with all life everywhere to their authentic expression, creating a new Aurora Earth. Other names for grid keepers are healers, spiritualists, chaosers, avers, and grid workers, and gatekeepers. By the way, probably majority of really powerful good gatekeepers are ones that are more androgynous, which tend to be homosexuals. Very powerful, very beautiful souls. Transvestites, I have no issue with whatsoever. I think they're beautiful. In fact, I had a wonderful friend back when I was living in New Mexico at Rama area, and Black Unicorn, beautiful soul, kind of a she, I never could always go to bounce back between the two. Beautiful soul was one of the motivating support in the creation of Waking in Alania book series. So yeah, beautiful souls. Very welcome, by the way, in the community. As long as you can handle when I talk about Trump and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, hope that you guys check it out and please sign up today. Thanks on that one. There'll of course be a link for that in the description. And of course, subscribe if you haven't, whether it be or both, the YouTube channel, Harmonizing Journey, or my Harmonizing Journey blog website. That would be awesome. Probably that's the best as well, to do the website, because you'll get more notifications and stuff. And of course, I have the services, private sessions as well. And there's be a link for that, and my Waking in Alania book series. You can click on that and get, and that, again, Black Unicorn was like, you can't come at it from the front end with this KS stuff. It's just overwhelms people way too much. But get into the heart of it through the back door, through, more novel types of story. And so that's the Waking in Alania series is. And I know I'm on my third book. I'll get there. I'm finally back into at least looking at writing it some more. Oh, donations are always appreciated. Of course, there'll be a link for that. So much love and peace. Again, Katie Oshiwanita, the HJR Navigator, helping others to connect with your multidimensional clan family. Much love and peace. Bye. Take care. Love you. Okay. I can do this, I know. Bye again.